They say there's a place where time stopped. Not because of a broken clock, but because the last bell rang and no one ever left. That place? Gravemount Elementary. Abandoned. Burned. Haunted. People cross the street to avoid walking in front of it. Windows broken. Vines crawling up the walls. Even the air around it feels heavier. Like the building is still breathing. I never believed the stories. Until I did. I was 14, and my friends dared me to go in. 5 minutes. They said, or you're a chicken for life. So I climbed the rusted fence, pushed open the heavy doors, and stepped into silence. Not the peaceful kind, the thick, choking kind, the kind that feels like it's listening. Inside, the school was frozen. Desks flipped, books rotting, drawings still stuck to the walls, faded with time. But something felt wrong, like I wasn't alone. Then I heard it, the school bell ding, once. Loud, cleared it echoed down the empty halls that I froze. There was no power. No reason that bell should ring. But it did, and right after it, I heard soft footsteps, little ones, running just ahead of me, and then a laugh, a child's laugh, followed by a whisper, Eli. My blood turned cold, and no one inside knew my name. I hadn't even said a word out loud. I turned a corner and found a classroom door opened at IT hadn't been a second ago. Inside, everything was untouched like time had never moved on, and on the wall, taped crookedly, was a drawing that a stick figure at a boy. Surrounded by red crayon flames, below it, scrawled in jagged handwriting, he stayed too long. And suddenly, slam, the door shut behind me. The temperature dropped. I turned slowly, and in the back corner of the room, a figure, small, child-sized, but wrong. Its face was smooth, no eyes, no nose, just a wide, stitched smile stretching across pale skin. It tilted its head, then whispered, "Want to stay and play?" I couldn't move. My body locked with fear. The thing took one step forward, and then another. The lights flickered, and I ran. I didn't care where. I just started as I bolted through the hallway. Every classroom door began to creak open, and from each one, more children. But they weren't children anymore. Their eyes were black voids, their skin like wax, and they all whispered the same thing. Time for class? Time for class. The bell rang again, and again, faster, louder, ding, 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 that I threw myself at the front doors. They burst open. That I stumbled into the sunlight, breathing hard, alive. But my friends, gone, vanished. No footprints, no calls, no trace. People searched, police questioned, but no one could explain it. And me, I never went back. But sometimes late at night, I still hear that bell ringing, even though Gravemount Elementary was torn down years ago. And just last week, I found something outside my house, folded neatly on my doorstep, that a child's drawing, that a stick figure, surrounded by red flames, and beneath it, written in crayon, "You left, but you didn't leave." Have you ever heard of a house that breathes? Not with lungs, but with souls. They say deep in the forest outside Ridgewood, there's a house that was built, but never meant to be lived in. A house that doesn't just exist. It waits. Three friends, Adam, Bilal, and Zion, were the adventurous kind. The kind who didn't believe in ghost stories. One chilly October evening, they decided to explore the forest near the edge of town. Just for fun. Phones. No maps, just flashlights and laughter. Adam, hey, maybe we'll find Bigfoot or some witch's hut. They didn't find Bigfoot. What they did find was worse, that a house sold. Broken, but somehow intact, its wooden door slightly open, as if inviting them in. None of them spoke it aloud, but each of them felt it. Something was wrong. Bilal, probably just some abandoned cabin, right? Zion, 5 minutes inside, then we bounce. Cool. They stepped in. Inside, it was quiet. Too quiet, like the house swallowed sound itself. The air was thick, like breathing soup. Cobwebs clung to their faces. The wood groaned under their feet, and then they heard it. A whisper from inside the walls. At first, they thought it was the wind, until it said one, then silence. 3, Adam, did you hear that? The lights on their flashlights flickered. The air turned ice cold. And suddenly, Zion was gone. No sound. No scream. Just gone. Bilal, Zion. They ran room to room, calling his name, but no answer. Then, Adam vanished. Right in front of Bilal's, eyes point one blink. One breath, gone. Bilal. This isn't real. This isn't real. I have to get out. He rushed to the door, pulled the handle that locked, and a way out. The house was alive, and it had chosen. Then, the whisper again. 3 entered, none shall leave. The next morning, hikers found the house, but it wasn't broken. IT wasn't rotting. IT looked brand new, and sitting on the porch were 3 shoes, point one pair each, perfectly lined up. No sign of Adam, no sign of Bilal, no sign of Zion. Only a message carved into the wood by the door. The house doesn't take visitors. It keeps them. They say if you find that house, don't knock, don't speak, and whatever you do, don't go in.